Classified collectors, we're taking a look today at Classified Series figure number 114. This is Big Boa. I have been waiting a while to unbox him. Here he is in all his glory with his face that's supposed to be somewhat messed up. There's his mask, his dumbbells. He just looks like the whole package and the extra punching hands. I can't wait to open this guy and show him to you. I love the graphic on this package, the image of Big Boa with his mask on it. Looks really good. This is obviously the newer style of windowed packaging. You can tell by the hatching design on the... I guess you can't tell in all shots, but it's on there. The way that the logos look against it is pretty cool. Personally, I like most of it. I just don't know about the numbers. I mean, I feel like Joe and Cobra should have colored numbers of some kind. But it's cool packaging. I kind of prefer the newest iteration of it that has slimmer packaging. I feel like that's better. But this is good. Here's some action shots of Big Boa. You may remember that this is the figure that famously claimed freed the nipple. So yeah, they did that. Which, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cool. It's kind of funny. Kind of feel like Roadblock, especially the Amazon one, maybe should have had some... Well, maybe not, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how clothing's supposed to fit on characters, so... And in real life, I guess you wouldn't necessarily see male nipples. It's just funny that they made a big deal about it. Because, you know, if it was a female, there'd be an uproar from some angry parents who are like, why are you doing this? Why are you sexualizing toys? So we're going to pop this bad boy open and we are going to take a look at him. For those of you that don't know, Big Boa is a member of Cobra. Obviously, he is some sort of trainer. I don't know his story, like a lot of the characters in Classified. They're based on classic G.I. Joe characters that I'm not familiar with. I really need to start reading the comics and watching the cartoon to get more idea of who these guys are. Because, I mean, obviously he's a major character of some kind. We haven't gotten to all the obscure characters yet, but we have got to Big Boa, which is pretty cool. I honestly didn't know about this character really before Classified, and I'm kind of glad that Classified now exists. I'm learning about characters and seeing a lot of Joes that these Joes really impress me. Like, the Classified figures are incredible. If these figures had come out in 2009, these would have been huge. They would have been the most articulated, most detailed figures to have ever come out, and G.I. Joe could have conquered the world. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. We know what happened. We got the movie. Interesting. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be this way, but there appears to be a crack in his helmet. I'm assuming that's just a flaw in the design of the head. You can see it. There's like a... It's not easy to see, but there is a crack in there that probably shouldn't be there. And hopefully that doesn't mean that the head's going to fall apart. Doesn't look like it. Could just be an issue with the mold or an issue with this particular cast of the masked head. Which actually, this is interesting because it's not actually a mask. It's a frickin' extra head, so you swap it. That's kind of neat. I mean, mask probably would have worked better. It'd kind of be like Metalhead. Metalhead has a mask that you can put over him. But also it is, you know, I can kind of see why. I mean, because then you have to make this piece really big. So there's that. His mask. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but I'm sure I'll find out. Oh, interesting. So his boxing gloves, because he's a boxer of some sort, come with little armbands, or I guess you could call it like wristbands. Can't get a good shot of it. There you go. There's not really any texture on it. It's just a wristband with a simple seam design. Seam sculpted into it. And here's his right boxing glove. It's got a beautifully done Cobra symbol. I don't know that a 1/18 scale version of Big Boa could have even received the Cobra symbol. I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. You know, I can't for the life of me figure out the focus on this phone. It's weird. Oh, there we go. Sorta. Let's see if I can get it to... Yeah, it's not. But yeah, he's got a Cobra symbol on there. A little bit of silver. I guess that's the inner glove. I'll take detailed pictures so everyone can see. I can't get it to focus. I'm really excited seeing where the classified line is going. Some of the recent figure sets I haven't been the most excited over. I just lost the other glove. Well, there's the gauntlet for it. Good, there's that part. Or, not the gauntlet, the wristband. I'm honestly not sure, by the way, what the reason is for those being separate. I would assume it's character related. Maybe he does. Maybe there's supposed to be like Velcro straps. So I just lost. Oh, there it is. Maybe this one will work. Yeah, I really can't get it to focus, but you understand my point. Once I do the close up here, you'll see. There we go. Yeah, there's the Cobra symbols, silver. There's his little braces. He does come with a pair of barbells. These were initially included with Sergeant Slaughter. And he does have the articulation you would expect, which, you know, goes without saying. Most Joes, I think, are 26 points. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, bicep and thigh swivels. Boot cut. Lower ankle joint. Wrist joint, obviously, and then the ab crunch, and of course, the swivel as well at the ab and the double jointed neck, which allows the head more movement. I will say this, and I only say this because I really love the line. It is rather unfortunate that we've seen a few figures come out since the beginning of the line that still have single jointed elbows, and they were all female. Those of you that know about the line know about the females and know that the original Scarlet Baroness plus the Origins Baroness, Origins Scarlet, and the Pico all had the single joint construction on the elbows, which meant no bicep swivels at all, and absolutely limited movement because of that. When we got Lady J, that was the first one that had full articulation, obviously. But we've still seen the single jointed elbow because we recently got the Steel Core female, which was a bad figure, and the female version of the Blue Ninja, which also had that bad articulation. But there's some of the Joes. This is where the line is kind of at. And this guy obviously is a perfect example of why the line is doing well. I mean, you got a figure that has a great face sculpt. Doesn't look super silly. See if I can get in focus. There we go. He appears to have teeth missing, which is really cool. He's got this great leather harness set with spikes, a rubberized torso, I guess a crotch piece. Like that's there's obviously there's a plastic crotch under there. But this rubber part's nice because you get flexibility there. And it's got the details, it's got the riveting details, the paint details. It looks like it's supposed to be almost a roped leather, something similar to a basket weave, but not quite. It's kind of cool. There's even a metal, I guess that would be a plate on the back that, I don't know if that's supposed to be for stability or what that's for, but it's cool. Here's his boots, which actually they kind of look like the Viper boots, so I'm guessing that might be where they came from. His legs are honestly super bulky though, so I don't know if he is considered Viper. Looks like he has slaughter legs actually. I'm assuming that most of this is stuff Like the arms are probably the same arms as Slaughter. His neck is probably the only. His neck is potentially Slaughter's neck as well. I mean, I don't know for sure, but one never knows with the heads because they keep changing the size, and they're supposed to be standard at some point. Hasbro's kind of suggested that they're just going to do a standard neck peg and stop making these heads that are like one size too big, one size too small. Because the problem there is head swaps, right? If you want to swap another head on, it's kind of difficult when it doesn't fit right. And especially if the neck is a little off, it's not going to look right. But it's great to see this figure. Like I said, here's his helmet thing, the extra head. I noticed that his hands are wrapped, which is really neat. One of the things about Classified that you might notice is that they love doing details like this. Tattoos or markings or wrapped hands. His hands are bloodied, obviously. I assume that's, that he's just raw punching stuff. I mean, he's got the gloves, so he's probably boxing. But he's also hurting himself because he's just an absolute tank of a guy, and, bloodied knuckles isn't exactly going to stop him from throwing punches. He looks like the kind of guy that would absolutely throw hands with Slaughter. And even if Slaughter somehow made him have a nosebleed and missing teeth, he would still be fighting. Hell, you could probably shoot this guy and he would still be fighting. So yeah, I mean, I like him. Obviously, his articulation's really good. As I've said, standard Joe articulation. Surprisingly, he's got pretty good joint tightness, considering his legs are a little loose, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how loose. They're not so loose that they feel like they'll fall over, but I do have stands. I use them on all my figures, and when I get more, obviously, I'm going to need more stands. I'm running out, actually. I only have like 3 or 4 left. So he's getting one, and he's going to go on the shelf right alongside, regulars like Destro and Baroness, because that's where he belongs. Honestly, if you guys have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear your take on Big Boa and what you thought of this figure, because I personally think it's a great figure, but maybe there's people who have some gripes about it. I don't know. I mean, if we get more figures like this, I feel like the line is going to be going places that people really want to go. We recently got, as many of you may have noticed, figures like the Twilight Guard and Steel Corps Commander. Not really a very thrilling pack. It's kind of reuse of... Number one, it's reuse of the Steel Corps Trooper and reuse of the Iron Grenadier figure. Maybe a bit of the Crimson Guard, maybe a bit of the Cobra Officer. There's a bunch of different things going on with that Twilight Guard, and it's not a figure that I'm especially attached to. He's not a major character like this guy. This guy I just had to have. Like I said, I don't know his story, but I know he's somebody cool within Cobra. Probably is a lot more badass in the comics than he was in the cartoon, because you know how the cartoon goes. G.I. Joe cannot lose. But yeah, like I said, muscle detail, he's got all that. In fact, if you look at his arms, he's just really bulked out. I love his back muscles. I think that was a nice touch. Again, as I said, the spike detail, it's colored. He's got that kind of hole in the middle. I'm assuming that there's the purpose for this is probably to keep people from getting too close to him, because, those spikes look like they would hurt. But yeah, if anyone has any thoughts or comments on this figure or whatnot, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.